Yo, it's good. It's your man 100 Grand Russ with The Rock Never Stops. Today I want to talk about how Marcus Sasser has the opportunity to be for the Detroit Pistons what Desmond Bane has been for the Memphis Grizzlies. If you enjoyed the video, smash the like button for me. Hit subscribe and the bell for notifications. Forgive the sniffles. I do have a bit of a cold, but I wanted to get these videos out to you guys, so I hope you appreciate it. Look, let me just start off by saying, do I think that Marcus Sasser is Desmond Bane? Who knows? But the principle that I'm trying to point out is Marcus Sasser is a polished scorer who's coming out of college, ready to contribute right now in the NBA. He knows who he is. He knows his game. He's polished his game. He's refined his game, and he's performed his game at a high level for the past couple of seasons at the University of Houston. Now, the significance of this, especially when we're thinking about comparing him to somebody like Desmond Bane, is that many times guys come out of college, they're one and done, they're young, they're talented, but they still don't know who they are, right? They still don't know what their game is. They still don't know what they could potentially be. And some guys, a la Jaden Ivey, are coming in and you're like, hey, is he a point guard? Is he a combo guard? Right? Is he an off guard? What is he? And so you're trying him out at different spaces, trying to develop him, trying to see what he can be. And the player themselves is still trying to figure out what they can be. Now, what that means for a young team is that they don't know what they are until their main guys figure out who they are. And that's precisely where the Detroit Pistons find themselves right now, is they don't quite know who they are until guys like Cade Cunningham, Jaden Ivey, Jalen Duren, even Asar Thompson figure out who they are. And so right now, this is the type of position where you need guys around them who absolutely know who they are. Similar to Ja Morant, where he was figuring out himself early in his career, having a guy like Desmond Bane, who is just a solid shooter/scorer, who knows his game, who knows what he's going to bring each and every night, and you know that you can count on it. Whether his shot is on or off, you know what you can expect. And I believe that Marcus Sasser has the same type of potential. The same way that we saw him in Summer League drop 40 points, he had the same game style that we saw early in the season when he looked really good for the Detroit Pistons. And even in games where he doesn't look good, it's the same gameplay. It's the same style. It's the same herky-jerk handle. He's able to get in and out into his bag, whether it's all the way to the rim, his floater. He can finish with either hand. He's got the mid-range pull-up, step back. He can catch and shoot. And he can pull up off the dribble from three and from deep. He's got a strong handle, so you're not worried about him dribbling the ball off his foot, a la Cade Cunningham and Jaden Ivey, right? And he actually makes sound decisions when he's on the attack, making plays for others or himself. Now, can he be a volume scorer? I think he can. When we look at his player prototype, he's the type of guy who's been a scorer his whole life. He's been a volume scorer his whole life, meaning that he's accustomed to taking a high number of shots for his team. He's accustomed to being the leading scorer of his teams, which means that he has a natural feel for how to do it. He has a natural rhythm. He knows how to get himself into rhythm. He knows how to get into his shots. He knows how to get into his bag, right? And he knows himself. And this allows them to be reliable. And when you think about the long-term outlook of this team, I think something that we've realized is that Cade Cunningham may not be a high-level volume scorer. As talented as he is, and I think we all believe he's talented, he may have the type of ceiling that you're looking at 22 to 25 points a game with really good efficiency, right? And it doesn't mean that he can't be an all-star, because I think that he can get you also 6 rebounds, 7 assists a game, maybe a steal and a half and some solid defense and just really efficient basketball and great leadership. I think he could do all those things and he could be a high-level player. But he needs around him, and I think that we're recognizing that he needs reliable scoring around him, because when he doesn't have that, he begins to push, he begins to press, and it leads to turnovers, and it leads to him getting flustered, and it leads to him looking overwhelmed out there on the court. Now, another point that I really love about Marcus Sasser is he's a dog on defense. He's a high-level point-of-attack defender who gets up into opposing point guards. And I think that this is important because Cade Cunningham is not that guy. Look, he can play tough defense. He can be a dog, especially situationally. He can be physical. He can move his feet laterally when he wants to, but he's not somebody that you can count on to be that consistent point of attack. And you don't really want him in that role because it picks up fouls or he just exhausts himself and then he doesn't have that energy that he needs on the offensive end to be that playmaker, facilitator that the team is looking for him to be, that they drafted him to be and believe him to be as the player that they're trying to build around. Now, on top of that, when you look at the other options for the Detroit Pistons, and I'm actually going to do a video on Mr. Killian Hayes soon because he deserves one. I don't think Killian Hayes has the offensive ceiling that you need next to Cade Cunningham. I think he has the facilitation. I think he has the defense. I think he has the ball security and reliability when it comes to setting up the offense. But as a scorer, Cade Cunningham is not the Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown level of scorer that you need next to somebody like Killian Hayes to maximize their tools. It's kind of a sneak peek into the video that I'm going to do because I think Killian Hayes is the next Derek White. I think he's an excellent facilitator defender who looks great next to a high-level scorer. Now, when you put all this together, at the end of the day, Monty Williams is going to have to figure out this roster. He's going to figure out who's going to stay, who's going to go. And this is somewhere between Troy Weaver, Dwayne Casey, and Monty Williams. And I think what needs to happen probably sooner than later is that they start getting rid of a lot of these guys who just are not worth investing in terms of time on the court. It's not that they aren't worth playing time. It's not that they won't have a long career in the NBA or for however long it is. It's that on this team, when you're trying to develop Asar Thompson, Jalen Duren, Jaden Ivey, Cade Cunningham, you don't have the space to add in more guys who are still figuring themselves out or who just aren't far enough along in that journey to really be consistent around them. I love Bojan Bogdanovic there. I even think that Monty Morris is going to be amazing for them once he gets healthy. But guys like Killian Hayes, who's still growing into his game, who's still figuring himself out, guys like Isaiah Livers, Marvin Bagley III, even James Wiseman, these guys are not where they need them to be. Kevin Knox is not where this team and that core needs them to be in order to be successful. And as a result, they almost become wash players because they're not getting the playing time on the court and they're not making a contribution that's of significance. And so I think that what needs to happen is that they just start packaging these guys, getting them out of there and bringing in veterans that maybe other teams don't want. Maybe guys that they don't want to have to worry about paying in the long term. Maybe guys like Gordon Hayward. Maybe guys, veterans who are out there who are saying, hey, you know what, we're not getting playing time. You know, the Markieff Morris types, right? Guys have a lot of veteran experience that can teach the young guys and also be consistent around them, right? You got Joe Harris, you got Alec Burks, but I think at this point, and even Isaiah Stewart, I think is solid enough to keep. But at this point, I don't think they need any more young guys. And I think Marcus Sasser can be exactly what they need next to Cade to bring them that scoring punch, that point of attack defender who can really complement what Cade brings. But at the end of the day, I want to know what you all think. Do you think Marcus Sasser has the type of potential to be the type of polished scorer next to Cade Cunningham in a similar way that Desmond Bane has been next to John Morant? Do you think he has the same type of ceiling? I kind of do. I think it's there if they develop it, if they give him that consistency in order to grow into that type of a role. But as always, I want to know what you all think. If you enjoyed the video, smash the like button for me, hit subscribe and the bell for notifications, and I'm going to get at y'all next time. Peace.